They say every great city starts with a plan. But before we can even think about building roads, zoning districts, or making questionable roundabout decisions, we need a map. And before we can even do that, we need a game that doesn't crash every 5 minutes. Hello everyone, welcome to Lakeland Fields County, or at least that's what it's going to be eventually, assuming City Skylines plays nicely. Before we can break ground on our first town, we have to break through City Skylines 2's stability issues. I, like many others, have experienced major crashing issues since the game's launch, pretty much rendering the game unplayable for me and many others. However, there's actually been some good news. The latest update has improved things. However, bad news is it still crashes. But so far, not as much. After the update and many days of playing around with the game, when did it choose to crash first? Only after I spent hours meticulously crafting this beautiful landscape and forgot to save. The rivers were flowing, mountains were majestic, the terrain was perfectly sculpted. Then, poof, gone. Just like that, hours of work vanished into the black screen. Nothing left but my own horrified expression looking back at me. So here we are, back at square one. But this time, we're building it better. Mostly because I'm saving constantly, because autosave is not really a thing in map editor, in case anybody needed to know. First things first, geography. We're not just slapping down some flat land calling it a day. No, we're world building. Well, first we're gonna slap down some flat land because we need some dirt to work with. Bring the brush size up to, yeah, 2500 will do. Oh, it's just gonna be kind of flat for a minute. That's an interesting, like, even though it's off in the distance. This map, with the water physics alone, were really hard to figure out, and I honestly don't even know if I did that right. Here is, all the things that I did. If I did it wrong, please let me know in the comments of an easier way to do this, because I intend to create more maps to play on and for possibly people on PBX to play on. I do want some of this action coming on in here, but I don't want quite as much as it's got going on currently. I think that looks pretty good, kinda. For the most part. Let's make this a little larger. Really want to give myself the most building room possible. Connect us up a little bit more to the mainland here. Probably have a get this up to 100. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the stuff.
Yeah, boy.
Ooh. Liking the aesthetic. Like a bit of room to build with. I mean, we could use a little more, but I think that looks pretty all right. There's so much up here and down in here. I like it. We're looking good. All right, now let's get to the big stuff. Rivers, bumpy bits, and good development areas where the topography is a little more respectable, because we only really want to move dirt when it's necessary once actual development begins. We'll start with rivers, and rivers are the backbone of any civilization. They decide where the first towns will spring up, how trade routes will evolve, and most importantly, where I will accidentally flood the town later when I forget to manage water levels properly. I see it coming already. To start with here, we just want to kind of straighten this up a little bit. Fix some of these weird little holes that keep popping up everywhere. Let's get back into the sculpting tool here. And this time, yeah, we might go with this for the time being, but we're going to bring it way down. 150 might be too small. 450 seems all right. We're going to grab in here and just kind of bring the bay in a smidge more. We play in here. There we go. This water moving in here properly. Now, is nighttime visuals on as well? All right. Well, how about that? We don't want that at 100%. We want to bring this way down. Really need some daytime up in this piece. Can I have the day back, please? There we are. Let's turn the lights back on. Ah, you. This thing is rude. How did I get there? All right, that time of day. Are you gonna stay this time? Nope, you're gonna turn the lights right back off on me. Boy, I can't wait to figure out how to actually play this game. Or at least do this part. Wow. Okay. Ooh. That is crazy looking. Incredible even. I was not expecting to be able to see something like this. That's incredible. Now, with any luck, in another few moments, the sun will rise. JK, that was the sun going down. Seriously, can we get the time of day back? Like, what the F? This, options, gameplay. The day-night visuals are off, homie. You know what? I'm an idiot. I just figured out how to turn the lights back on. All right, that works. Let's chill out for a minute. I don't want to get it. Is that as much as I want for the... Yeah, I think the small inlets here probably the better choice. To do now, just to make things interesting, I think we're going to add in some smaller creeks. You know, serve as natural barriers between different regions. Because nothing says, you know, friendly city planning like aggressively dividing up land with random rivers. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I'm gonna try out this yin yang water tool. And it's like stream. Gonna up one right there. Is it gonna do anything? What if I hit play? Yes. Can't let it get nighttime on it. But now that I know how to change time of day, it's not too bad. I was just gonna do is the question. Gonna speed up the water simulation a little bit. Might fill up too much. Flood the area. Wait, did I add a constant? What did I do here? If we slow the water back down. Oh, it is back down. Let's see See, the water would need to come in the other way. However, I will say, over here, they did kind of start filling in nicely. For the most part. Go back here and... what was that? Austin River? I'm not sure what this is going to do. Nothing. Okay, so that side... I might abandon it. Can I use that? No, I cannot. How? Aha. Seems like we shall abandon the creek idea. Didn't really work like I wanted it to. Go ahead and fix that mistake. That's what we do. We learn. This is the first time I've really got to mess around with the editor. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. So if you got any tips or tricks, definitely hit up the comment section below. Could use some insight there. Let's make sure we at least got all our random holes filled in. Like this guy here. What's the deal with that thing? They were all over the map. Everywhere you see these circles already, or where I came through earlier and just kind of flattened everything out a little bit. But it does appear, at least for the most part, that we've got that figured out. Oh, look at that. A little stream. Can I put waterway out here? No, I cannot. Only in the buildable area. Makes total sense. Or, and hear me out, what about this one? I put a constant rate, one that's pause, 2, on my river again. And this right here. Look at this guy. Constant rate. Whoop. So yeah, no, that's only in the buildable area as well. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Alright, I guess now let's get into adding some lumps and bumps. We're not gonna go crazy here though. No one wants to build a highway straight up the side of a cliff. But we do need some elevation changes just to make the landscape feel a little more natural. Like those mountains over there are looking good. Might wanna fix the little area in there where I had to flatten out earlier. Same as in there. I don't know, the valley filling is actually kind of interesting. The highway could come in from there, or at least from that direction, because we're only going to be able to take it to the dotted line, I believe. But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. We'll get this situated. It'll look pretty good. That's looking good now. We're going to go through and smooth this out a little bit so the roads don't, come through looking like a roller coaster. don't know what the deal is with the soften brush in the map editor, but it does not do softening things like it does in the game. Don't want any obvious splotches. Need this to roughly come down to the same terrain height. I think it'll be easier to, yeah, easier to get rid of then. Don't like you. But apparently there's, okay, yeah, just gonna let me do something about it. Let's see how that's not too shabby. It's looking like a right cozy little place. Couple of things while I'm thinking about it. Go to climate, create custom climate. Let's go San Francisco climate. We've added that, and now map save. We'll change this to North American. Starting times position. Oh. Cool. So I can deselect these. And I can actually start us somewhere like around this area. Was it 4 tiles? I think it was. That is not a lot of land. Yeah, I think it's 9 tiles, actually. Once we put a road down, we'll capture that. Stop selecting tiles. That looks perfect. And while we're in here, might as well give ourselves a map name. Lakeland Fields. Jesus. County. All right. Let's save that again. And with that, we can move on to natural resources and groundwater. Before we start building, we need to think about what this land has to offer, which is currently nothing. We have to remember resources shape economies. They decide which towns become wealthy industrial hubs and which ones end up as quiet farming communities. And here we're going to start with land fertility. Turn all these off. Grab that. And with this, go ahead and jack this thing up. Fertile land is crucial, and Lakeland Fields County is going to have plenty of it. I'm going to paint these areas with good soil so we can establish farmer towns later on. A couple episodes, and then, you know, further on past there, actually. And what I want to do, honestly, is go top to bottom. Let's get this filled all the way back up. We're gonna paint it all. It's looking good. As far as forest is concerned, the only way I know how to do that is this. I will ignore this, whatever that is. Foliage, trees, North American, linden. But we want multiples, and we want a mixture. And we want to make it a little bigger than that, so we can get trees everywhere in here, because that's what we want. Do want to start off a little lower out here, so it's not quite as thick. I want the outer edges to be, you know, trees, but obviously not as much as what the middle is going to get. So with that, I'm going to raise this a little bit more and some extra dense forest in here. Go ahead and freak the game out a good little bit. It's looking good. These regions are likely going to be the future home of sawmills, logging towns, assuming of course we don't just bulldoze it all for highways first. That's a lot of trees to bulldoze, so we probably won't be doing that. But now, bring back up our natural resources. We'll toggle off everything aside from ore deposits. We're going to need to decide where the county's mining operations are going to be. I do know I want a little bit in our starting town as well. Just so we've got that industry going. Not much of it, just enough for over here. Actually, let's find out what to render it. That's the wind direction. This really kind of affects where we're gonna put it in the starting tile, because all the wind obviously flows in from the ocean. Let's go, I guess, just a little bit of corner action. There we go. Turn that off. Turn that off. Let's just put a good little bit in here. It gives us some good starting or drawing abilities. Get some good minerals going on. It'll, probably be full of abandoned factories and environmental lawsuits. But for now, there's potential profit. Let's see, where else? I do want to come along the coast here. Yeah, right here in the hills. We want a little more. So we can actually get a good mining town going on further this way. Bring some further inland in this corner as well. Paint that in real nice. We may not end up needing all of it, but at least it'll be there. I think I might put a little more, over here. Clean energy is nice and all, but let's be honest. At some point, we're going to need a dirty, polluting power plant just to keep the lights on. Future me can deal with the consequences. Not that big a deal. Alright, with that, we can move on to oil. A sweet, sweet forbidden juice. I think I want to put it, I only want a small amount on the map, because this area should be, more rich and fertile land. We just want enough oil to eventually stop importing to, boost our economy later on in the series. Provided, of course, the council approves the plans for development in the future. Just to make sure we don't run out. Let's run this bit with a little bit as well. Possibly along this shoreline. I guess it's a few options of whether we're gonna build some of our resources. The last thing you may have guessed is gonna be some groundwater. If we don't plan this correctly, the first town is gonna be sucking up polluted sludge instead of fresh drinking water. We're gonna place a good amount of groundwater wells here. Hopefully far away from future pollution sources. I know I want a little bit definitely in the starting area. All around in here. Let's give ourselves a good little splotch. And then we're gonna dot some more splotches along here. Plenty of delicious salt water has been filtered through all the rocks and cracks. The inner crust to create that good juicy delicious water. Goes straight from the ground, smells like eggs. That may have been a mistake because I'm pretty sure I have other resources there. At least some groundwater like back there. A little bit more. Because there's a few places to get some water out of if we need it. And of course, since we've done some work, let's save this before we lose anymore. And because of that, it looks like we can move on to setting up for future development. So we're gonna have to get some highways coming in here. Just taking a look around, seeing the best route we could possibly take. I do remember saying I wanted to bring a road in from this way, but I think it would also be beneficial to bring a road in from this way. Gonna meet up as a junction somewhere in here. Come off this side as well of the road. Bring it right along the edge here, where everything just kind of collides right before you get to our starting tiles. So this is hard. This is one thing I struggled with before, is the road surfaces. I do know, since this area is supposed to be, rather rural, we need to bring in some actual, like, 2-lane highways in here. 4-lane is pretty good. Can we see the topography? We can. Probably need to fix this up a little bit. Are you actually going to work for a system? No. Let's go ahead and start dragging that road in. Got some freeform line going on in here. Respect the topography a little bit here. For the most part. Probably gonna have to rethink that one right there. That's a hell of a curve to take at 70. Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to fix a couple things here. Need to get rid of that. Bring that to back. It's about right there. Bring the shovel back. Now we're gonna drag from up here. Gonna smooth the edges back out a little bit here. Let's get back to our highway. Rude. It connects those two places. Will it even tell me what the names of those towns are? Maybe not right now. Maybe that does it on its own. This over here. I like this area. I don't want the highway to come around here. That may have been a bit large. It was. Ugh. See if I can fix this. Probably not. Now this looks a hot freaking mess, dude. Whoop. I do love watching the contour lines fill up. Okay, let's try to bring our highway in here now. And I am actually just going it right up just like that. We might. I don't even know. Do they have a WiseTech interchange? Let's save this first. Because we have done some work now. Oh my gosh. I have way more recorded than I did the first time. Is that done? Roads. Oh, yeah. Is this really going to be out here though? Let's try this then. good old clover leaf in here. Just like that. Oh my god, that looks terrible. Just no trees there anymore. Oh man. Now we need highway 1-way 2-lane. Come on now. Upgrade. Turn off snapping. Don't exactly know what's going on here. It does not like that, and I don't have Move It available to me. So we're gonna have to pretend, I guess, that that doesn't exist until we can actually unlock the area and fix it ourselves. Wonder if I can put the trees back. Answer to that is no, which is strange. It's just gonna be a bare patch there. I wonder, can I get a bit of just... No, I can't. That sucks. Brings us 4 outside connections. Gosh, I want to, you know. Ah. Oh, I must not have seen that. We'll fix that in a minute. It's looking pretty good. Now, I'm not 100% sure what happened here. Let's smooth this mess out a little bit. I'm also going to leave room for, you know, railway network, because nothing says I know what I'm doing like planning train stations before a single road exists. The last thing, and this is where it crashed on me last time, so let's go ahead and save map, save, yes. Now, the last thing I want to do on this map large water pipe. We want to bring in from the edge of the map. We bring water and sewage in. One other thing I want to do while we're right here, I need camera starting position to be right here. Capture camera position. That's where our starting camera is going to be. And we should bring at least one railway in to right here. So we got some trade at least heading out. When we do build train, we got something to connect to. Train track 2-way. back it up to about right here. So we don't necessarily want it in our starting tiles, because it will be a little while before we actually wear the train route in there. At least the third episode, where we make that town. We're gonna have to buy a few tiles. We'll do one last save of the map. And with that, there you have it. Lakeland Fields County is officially ready to be settled. In the next episode, we'll break ground on our first town. Will it be a cozy farming village? A bustling trade center? A chaotic mess of bad road decisions? Likely all three. But for now, enjoy the time lapse of the finished map, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, boy.